Hi everyone, so today I'm going to talk about some of the aids and adaptations that I use on a day-to-day basis. So the first one I'm going to talk about is medication. So the pharmacy delivered my medication in this, and it has my week's medication in. But the problem that I found with this is that even though it has the different kind of like morning, lunch, tea time, bedtime, I was forgetting to take my tablets. So I went through a couple of different versions of medication alarm boxes, and this is the one that I'm currently using. It's called a Tab Time Super 8. So it has 8 sections. So it allows me to put my before food medications and my with food medications in. So it has an alarm for each section. So it'll go off to take my before food medication because I can't take medication without food because I can't digest it without meds. And then half an hour later it will go off to tell me to take my with food medication and to get something to eat. It also has a timer on it. So one of my medication I have to take in an empty stomach. So after I've eaten, I will set the timer to go off after an hour to take that medication. It's also handy for antibiotics or any other medication that needs to go on an empty stomach. So it has a loud alarm and a flashing light on it. So even if I've forgotten or not heard the alarm and I see the red flashing light, I know that I've missed a dose of medication, so I know to take it. Then there's the kitchen things that I use. So I use these things called safe sips, which go onto a lid. So I've got almost a full drink here, and it makes the drink unspillable, which is very handy because I'm very clumsy, and especially with my spasms and myoclonic seizures, it just means that I don't spill drinks. So these safe sips go over virtually any cup because they're very stretchy and they come in lots of different colours. And I have this jar holder as well. So I put it on the worktop, and I will kind of like, for example, if you're putting a safe sip lid on, I'll put that in there and then it keeps it in place so I can got my hands free to put the safe sip on. It's also kind of like if I'm opening jars, I'll put the jar in and then I can open it. And for opening jars, I use this jar opener, which is like a grip holder, so it goes over the top of the jar lid, and it just gives you that extra grip because my grip's quite weak to open the jar, especially because my dad sorry, I'm losing my memory. My dad puts jar lids on very, very tight, which is really, really annoying. And then they do a little small version, which is good for like medication bottles. I also have an electric can opener because the traditional can openers I just used to dislocate my thumb doing it. So I have an electric can opener that just goes over the top and you press a button and it goes whizzes around, opens the can, and then it just saves a lot of wrist action. Then there's my magnifiers. So I have my CCTV magnifier, which is really good for reading, and you get quite good print. But it's a bit of a brick, so it's it's quite heavy. So I have this little handheld magnifier which I carry around in my handbag. So if I'm, say, out food shopping, I need to read the labels because I have allergies. It just means that I can kind of read labels and things very easily. There's also, so I'm just checking my list. There's also, in my bedroom I have a bed rail that helps me to sit myself up because otherwise I won't be able to sit up. So I just kind of hold on to that, and I kind of like it kind of like helps me to pull myself up. And then in the bathroom I have a bath board which goes over the bath, so I can sit down when I'm having a shower, or I use it to sit down when I'm brushing my teeth and things. So that's really handy. I also have a leg lifter, which is like a loop that you put your foot into, and then it's like a metal rod, so you can pick your feet up, so that's handy to get, like, if I'm having a good day, I can kind of lift my leg over the bath myself, or get my legs onto my bed or into the car, because my legs are quite weak. And then I have on my wrists I have a few gadgets. So I've got my medical alert that is gives lots of information for emergencies. Then have my watch, which is a special watch that has 12 alarms on it. So that goes off to remind me to go to the toilet, to have a drink, to eat, and just different alarms. So it goes off. So there's 12 alarms that I can set that go off periodically throughout the day. It also has a timer on it, so it kind of times so it can have like a repeating timer. It's kind of like remind me to go to the toilet every 2 hours, or if my paralysis is playing up, I can set it off to go off every 15 minutes, just to kind of like relieve pressure sores. So this watch is quite handy, and it's a bit of a lifeline. So it kind of vibrates and bleeps, so that's quite handy, and it also tells me the time and the date, because I can get very forgetful, so I often forget what days it is, so it's handy having the date on my wrist. I also have Care Link, which is really handy. So that has an impact detector. So if I was to have a fall, it would set off, and then, or if I needed assistance, like if I felt a seizure coming on, I just press it, and somebody comes onto the telecom machine, which I can speak into, and it's a bit like a walkie-talkie. So like the other day, I had a fall because I fainted, and the alarm went off, and the lady came onto the telecom, and she stayed with me whilst I kind of slowly kind of came round and got myself up, and then and kind of until I was kind of like settled. Then she stayed with me whilst I kind of got myself into the kitchen to get some pain relief because I dislocated my shoulder. So that Care Link is a bit of a lifeline, because it just gives me that, it's just a bit of reassurance knowing that someone's there if I need them, and also kind of picking up my falls. So I know I'm safe because I've got somebody there to talk to, and they can then arrange assistance if need be. So if I need the rapid response team coming out or an ambulance calling, they can do that for me. I also have my crutches, which are kind of multicoloured purple colour with spots on, so they're quite funky, and then my personality. I find them a lot better than the NHS ones because they're a lot lightweight, but also the NHS ones go right around your wrist, so when I used to fall over I used to get caught up in my crutches. So the ones I've got at the moment go halfway round your arm, so if I was to fall, they fall away, and they're a lot lighter weight. Plus they express my personality because I see them as part of my body. I have my wheelchair too. That is an absolute kind of lifeline because it saves me a lot of pain and fatigue, but also if I'm having a bad day with my dislocations, if I'm having a lot of hip pain or my knee keeps dislocating, it just means I can get from A to B a lot faster and a lot more pain-free, and a lot easier. going back to the kitchen, I also use plastic crockery because my family got fed up of me dropping and smashing plates and bowls. So I use plastic more melamine crockery, which is I found some nice floral patterned ones, which again express my personality because I didn't like using the kiddie ones. I use travel mugs to drink out of because they're a lot lighter weight than ceramic mugs, but also having the lid on them means that if I'm kind of like having a tremor or a spasm, I'm not going to spill the drink. I think that's everything. Probably forgotten some things because I use them so much I forget that I'm actually using them. Everyone's different. Some people, some of the adaptations I've used I've kind of just developed and need as and when needed. I always have my splints. I have wrist splints, so I'm wearing this at the moment because I've been doing too much crocheting. I'm also waiting to get some knee braces, which will hopefully help my dislocations in my knee and hopefully prevent some falls. So yeah, I think that's it. If you've got any comments, just comment below, or if you've got any suggestions for new videos, that would be very welcome because I'm always looking for new ideas for videos, especially because I'm new to YouTube. And if you could subscribe to my channel, that would be lovely, just so you can keep up to date. And on my channel there's also a link to my blog where I write lots of things. And also, if you want to share your story with me, either on my blog or on my YouTube channel, you can contact me. The information is on my blog. And you can also follow me on my Instagram and kind of Pinterest and things like that as well. So yeah, I'll say bye for now. Hopefully I've remembered everything, but I've shown you a few things that I use. And hopefully they might help you out too if you're on the lookout for kind of, if you're struggling with spilling drinks or anything like that. So yeah, comment below and just let me know what you think, and or if you've got any suggestions for gadgets that you find helpful, let me know because they might help me out too. So yeah, bye for now.